Buenos Dias Gunners Collective. Back at it? You already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict, right? And as you can tell by today's thumbnail, we're talking about the training grounds where you establish your career. The training grounds, man. Plain and simple, period. Prison, California Youth Authority, juvenile hall. So it doesn't matter, man. Where you feel you have to take the necessary precautions and the necessary steps to secure yourself and to start that career off, no matter where you're from, whatever group segment, whatever group faction, you continue to strive forever forward and do your thing, man. These are the grounds you must secure to properly train yourself to be ready for guerra, to be ready for war, to be ready for any obstacles that are going to befall you while being incarcerated and holding it down, torcido, in the pinta, right? So trip out. The first training grounds that must be established are juvenile hall. When you're young, you're in the mix, you're getting involved in a whole lot of different things. You know what I mean? You go to juvenile hall, you find yourself in juvenile. Now, there's a lot of people that bypass this step because they just weren't like Betty Wright. They weren't doing it early in their game, right? They caught on later, they caught fire later, and Sasuke, they bypassed all the juvenile shit. But me, myself, I was out there wiggling in a vicious fashion, right? As a youngster. So I found myself a few different times in juvenile hall. Now, you got to understand, gangbanging was very prevalent there. Everybody was involved in the mix. Now, at this time in our juvenile hall in Merced County, we didn't have North and South going at it. There was a few sureños that would go in there and they would keep them separated from the Northerners. And that's just the way it went, you know. So it wasn't like we were seeing each other. There was maybe one or two incidences where people passed each other in the hallway. It was a very small juvenile hall. Shout out to 1411 B Street, man, right across from the cemetery, old school, before they built this new big old facility that looks like Folsom Prison, right? It was just a small little juvenile hall located on a corner on the west side. And people that went there know, and if you don't know, now you know, right? It used to be on and cracking. But this was a training ground. This is where homeboys that were a little bit older than you kind of gave you the game. And you first got your first glimpse of being incarcerated. Not necessarily, man, prison status or YA status and knowing those hardships, but the hardship of just being away from your family and being locked down and not being able to have the freedoms and liberties to do whatever the fuck you wanted to do. So, what's in the refrigerator? There is no refrigerator. Puto, get in your cell. Sasuke, I'm mad. Well, yeah, guess what? We're mad too. It is part of the game. It's what it is, indubitably. Anyways, in a Menudo style and direct fashion, we're going to get straight into the story, man. As you can tell by the thumbnail, we're talking about it, training grounds. Let's get into it. Now, Trip. Okay. Juvenile hall, I go in there. First time I remember, I was in there for like some vandalism or something like that, man. Me and the homeboy got caught spray painting on some fucking wall. And they throw me in there, right? And quietly as it's kept, I thought I was in a winter wonderland. So I thought it was Disneyland. It was all cool. It was a big gathering of some of the homeboys that I knew from the streets. And we were all kicking back. And it was just basically like a summer camp for me. Of course, these were the training grounds, right? People were letting me know how it feels to be incarcerated. Sasuke, you ain't no free rides over here. Ain't no free tickets. Well, Sasuke, fuck your free ticket and your free ride. Sasuke, I'm in it. Uber. Let's go, right? Everything was all good. So I could say bypassed that whole situation and really tripping off that. It wasn't no big deal, man. But then I moved on. I moved up you're moving on up. Orderly George Jefferson. I was on that motherfucker stepping on Tom's back. Orderly Willis, right? Doing my thing. And I get to California Youth Authority. Now, these were the grounds that we had to establish. These were the true training grounds. I remember my first day walking up in there, man. One of the first homeboys that got at me said, where you from, Moms? I said, West Side Merced Norte. What's up? He said, oh, was that right? This is Stockton Norte. I was like, okay, orderly. I get it. You know what I mean? Please don't steal my motherfucking flux capacitor, right? I already knew what time it was. And then I started to become indoctrinated, you know, and I started to become enraptured in the game around me. I started to find out that the sureños were the enemy, the true enemy, you know. I started to find out that anyone that opposed our push, anyone that opposed our strive was the true enemy. These were the true training grounds. This is where young soldados were being trained and your mind was being conditioned for war, for all-out war, you know. You were given the option. You could either be a victim or you could be the one, right? Prey or predator. Sasuke, but not necessarily a weird predator like that. I'm just saying, Sasuke, you know, kind of like the one with the things that's killing people, Sasuke. I ain't got time to bleed. That type of predator, right? And I grasped that and I ran with it, right? I knew that at that point in time, man, it was either become a victim and be a sucker man, or at the same time you can go in there and just stand your ground and hold your own. You know, keep that good name that you came in there with. prospering and leveling up to the next level. Kind of like this YouTube shit. So it's good. You can either have a bad name or a good name. Some people are going to think one way about you. Some people are going to think another about you. At the end of the day, it is what it is, man. Everyone's going to hold you accountable for your actions. Period, plain and simple. So you get in there, and these are the proper training grounds. This is where I started to be trained, you know, into the plight of the North there. I started to be trained into the plight of being a gang member, period. Didn't matter where you were from. Everybody was in some type of training. Everyone was at different levels in the game. Okay? Training grounds. So this is where they were going to find out if you put some hustle behind your muscle, right? If you were willing to fight. If you were willing to go the distance. If you were just going to roll it up and go in the corner, Sasuke, suck on your thumb. Nah, the air was just fine. It was time to go out there and handle our business. I'm going to tell you a little story. I remember the first day rolling up. I roll up, they give me my celly little wine from Fresno Bulldogs. Shout out to the Bulldogs. And he starts to game me up. Hey, this is what's going to happen. We're going to go to Chow. The Sureños roll up. There's only about 5 or 6 of them, man. We're going to get off. I said, well, let's get off, right? Fuck it. You know, I was trying to be all cool. I thought I was all big and bad and cool. Straight baboso I was at that time, right? Raza is raza. I wasn't looking at him for their brown skin. I was looking at him for being an opposition from the other side of the land. Little fucking line drawn in the sand. And Sasuke, that's how I was feeling. Now, of course, they were feeling the same exact type of way. So it was either kill or be killed at that point in time. But Sasuke, this is how I was feeling. Okay? So I wanted to prove myself. I was a follower. I was not a leader at that time. I wanted to be just like the rest of the people. I wanted to be in the in crowd, right? But at the same time, to myself, deep down in my cold black heart, I was feeling like a baboso because I was taking the dictation of another man. I was like, man, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. But then they're going to take on my shit if I don't. Yeah, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? Fuck it. Yeah, hold. Right? And so I decided to roll with the crowd, roll with the punches. And of course, it kicked off as soon as we went to the day room. Rooster from Fresno comes out, takes a swing out of Otto from Bakersfield, and it's on and cracking. And people are swinging, chairs are flying. People are doing whatever they're doing. These were the training grounds to get us prepared for what was going to happen in life. Now, of course, not everybody had to go through the same steps. Not everybody had to go through the same hardships and the same fucking movidas. You know, a lot of people, they went to Owacha. A lot of people got lucky. They went to OH Clothes and they were like this. I'm walking on sunshine. Oh, they were just chilling over there. One big fucking vacation. All the homeboys busting spreads and fucking party time, having it their way. Of course, everybody knows my story. I didn't get that. Okay, I hopped on that motherfucking green goose, not the gray goose. It was a green goose, right? They shackled your boy up one time for his mind, sat me next to a Fresno Bulldog. He was barking the whole time, and they shot us to Fred C. Nellis. Okay, so I get there, and these were the real, true training grounds. This is what was going to separate the boys from the bigger boys. Not the men from the boys, because none of us were men yet. But the boys from the older boys, the boys that were going to be established and handle their business, and the boys that were just going to sit there like, no, son, no, don't touch me there, right? This is what was going to establish that. And of course, I've told this story several times, so I'm not going to go into detail on it. I went in there and did what I had to do. Okay, irregardless of what people say, irregardless of what people think, my history is my history. I handled my business to the best of my capabilities at that time. It wasn't all L's, it wasn't all W's, but Sasuke, it was fun, right? We handled our business, and not necessarily fun all the time, man. There were some times I was sitting there like, I'm sorry, so sorry. Nobody even likes me here, right? No, nobody didn't like me there. You know, north or south. Motherfuckers was like, the homeboys was like, this motherfucker doing way too much. The Rangers were like, we're going to get this motherfucker. So at the same time, man, that's how it was. Okay, at the end of the day, none of that matters. It was training grounds. You know, you hear the term YA baby. Damn, them motherfuckers from YA, man, they come out, they're savage. They come out, they fight. Man, they're different. You know what I mean? It's because we were gamed up. We had a little bit of a head start compared to homeboys from gangs that were out there on the streets that weren't really up to par and really up on what was going on. You know, they were out there breaking in cars, getting high, shooting drugs, maybe fucking stealing a fucking pizza from Pizza Hut. I don't know what they were into, robbing people. Whereas we were out there already on líneas, marching to the beat, you know what I mean? Creasing up our pants, prison style, you know what I mean? Beanies. Hoodie, in that motherfucker. Pinta bound. We were in that motherfucker because we all knew we were pinta bound. That was the most definite. If you were anyone at that time in the early 90s, mid 90s, in the game in California Youth Authority, prison was your destination. Now, of course, we all would say, no, I ain't trying to go to the pinta. But a lot of us were striving to get there. These were the training grounds necessary to properly prepare us to secure ourselves in prison and to establish. Now, everybody was different. Of course, on the south side, the motherfuckers were enjoying themselves a little bit. They were hella deep. Very deep, but a very vicious group faction. Very, very aware, very vicious, man, and very well known. They were just the deepest every yard you went. That's just plain and simple, period. Can no one lie? Can no one take that from anyone? That's how it was. Okay? As far as the Norteños down there, of course, I've told the story. We were up Shit Creek. Better, we only had one paddle. We shared it, right? We were up Shit Creek, but we, even with just that one paddle, I mean, we was rolling. We was rowing. Row, row, row the boat. Norteños down the stream. Merrily, 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 we'll hit you in your spleen. We were not playing. We were about our business, right? And I'm not making fun of any group segment. I'm just saying, man, we held our own. That's it. Can't take it from us. But that's what we're doing. But I was properly trained in the ways to conduct myself. Loyalty was a main aspect that we focused on. Being loyal to your brothers that were around you, because that's all we had. That was our brothers. That was our familia. That right there was our bread and butter, our backbone. You know, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And Sasuke, you are the weakest link. You got to go, right? Another thing was respect. Respect was a word that was not played on. It was a word that was very established and a word that we really stuck to. Respect. Respect everyone. Respect your enemies. Respect the counselor. Now, well, you know, fuck the counselor. But respect who you're supposed to respect, man, and carry yourself with the level of respect. Respect yourself first and foremost. You know, wake up in the morning, brush those fucking dirty-ass yellow teeth you got. Wake up in the morning, let's get shine those lenses. Make sure that you can see at them. You're going to need them when they're taking a swing at you from the side. You know, get up in the morning, crease those tramos because you want to look proper, professional, and ready to go for the day. Respect yourself. Respect thy neighbor, vato. You know what I mean? Respect that CEO Jaina that's coming in there with the big old nalga shaking him in front of you so you look. You know what I mean? You're looking, pero respect it. You know what I mean? This is how it was going down. Menudo. For reals. But these were the necessarily proper training grounds. Again, it's all training. It's all conditioning the mind. The mentality, the mind state, the body. You know, you go in there and we're not no big fuck. We were young kids. We had to work out, not because we wanted to get our bodies strengthened, but because we thought it was cool. We seen American Me slipping into darkness, out of the pie face, right? We seen all that. Okay, but then you start to your mind starts to become conditioned and you understand. There's some understanding. It's like a light goes off, boop, you know what I mean, in your mind, and you're like, okay, fuck it. I got to work out so I could get stronger so that way when I fight, I can handle my own because I got 2 or 3 vatos coming at me at one time. Okay? It's all about training. Okay? You train your mind and your body to see everything. Your awareness is up. You're looking. You know, vatos are coming from this side. They're coming from that angle. You start to notice, you know, your body starts to become trained and notice when something's out of whack, when something ain't just right. You know, if it's too quiet, if there's fucking a hum in there, something's going down. Someone's getting hit. Someone's getting whacked, right? You start to become conditioned. It's called training. You train yourself to know what's going on. And this is prison. Now, in the real world, you train yourself to get your ass up out of bed, throw your boots on, so you have your coffee at Starbucks, and go to work. Your body is trained. Every day you wake up at the same time. Some people need an alarm clock. Some don't. Some become used to it. It's an everyday routine. It's called a rutina. A routine, you're so used to that, and the wiggle is real. You go out there, you get your feria for your family, you come home, so it's good, you're mad, you kick back, you watch Seinfeld, or whatever the case may be, man. Who gives a fuck? At the end of the day, that's what it is. I itch right here. So I must be getting some money. Probably not, but whatever. Anyway, so this is how it is. Okay? Then you level up. Then you go to prison. Okay, and I had heard stories. I heard many stories about DVI Tracy. Being from the Central Valley, being from Merced, the 209 area, that was our reception. Now, every different group had their reception. Okay, down south, they had their receptions, you know, that they went to, Chino Prison, and I think it was Tehachapi. I'm not too sure, man. They had several, you know. Bay Area had San Quentin. You know, the Bulldogs went to Wasco. That was their reception. You had vatos in Tulare County, man. They went to Wasco or where was it, Delano, or everyone had their own different receptions. People way up north, they were going to high desert at one point in time. I know that there was different receptions for different areas of California, but ours in the Central Valley, yes, established, bang, stamp it, was DVI Tracy. And you heard a lot of stories back in them days about Gladiator School, about the true Gladiator School, how DVI used to rock in the 70s and 80s. So I ain't gonna lie, I had a motherfucker wondering, right, what the fuck is gonna happen at this place? And I remember pulling up the first time what I considered was the real true training grounds of prison, what was really gonna go down in the wide world of sports, right? We pull up and I'm looking, I see all the blocks. You see all the blocks and you see a big sign, welcome to Dual Vocational Institution, Tracy, California, Tracy Prison. Whites and Norteños on lockdown. I said, what? What is this? They've been on lockdown for about 8 months. Good Lord, right? Sounds good. Am I coming into that? Oh, yes, sir. You will be coming into that, right? Groups are on lockdown. They're letting everyone know these guys are on lockdown so that when visitors come, you ain't got shit coming. Turn around, head towards the exit. Your old man's on lockdown. But I'm coming to show him. No, it don't matter what you're coming to show him. We're showing you that he's on lockdown. Bang, bang. Bye-bye. This is how it was. You know, all the indicators were there. I was like, I've really made it. This is prison. This is the real stuff, right? This ain't kiddie stuff. Eat it, eat it. I was there, oh boy, and I was going to fucking do what I had to do, of course. I get there, I get to my building, GP, general population, active Norteño. I remember they kept the people that were in PC at that time in little cages separated from us. I didn't even know what that was, right? I mean, I was smart enough to know from county jail kind of what that was and everything, but I wasn't fucking smart enough to say, okay, they're keeping us separate or whatever. My whole thing wasn't thinking, okay, I'm going to take off on a PC. My thing was, I'm trying to get to a fucking yard. I'm trying to get to a building and see what's going on with my headpiece one time for my mind. You know, obviously I was cleared. I was good in the county jail, so I figured I was going to be good here, right? And of course, that was the case. I get there and everything, I'm walking in, I'm hearing people saying cucuys on the motherfucking theater. I'm hearing people say fucking new arrivals on this wing and that wing. And it's like this and like that and like that. And I'm like, orale, right? Let's get him here. And in that fashion. And I walk in. Okay, I walk in and I could feel the electricity. I could feel the tension. I could feel prison. Prison 101, homie. I'm here now. The training grounds, I have arrived. Skinner is in the building. At that time, I was still Skinner. They changed me to Gunner, and I'll tell you that story one day. But anyway, so I walk in, right? Boom. I'm ready for whatever I got to be ready for. They put me in my cell. I get a good cell. He's a homeboy out of Sunnyvale. We're good. Or Spence, he wasn't out of Sunnyvale. He was out of Sacra. Sunnyvale came later. Different term, different time, different place. So we're wiggling, right? We're cool. He's telling me to get down. Of course, I do my whatever I have to do in a northern fashion, man, to get cleared. In a few days, I get properly cleared. Now I'm being abreasted of household, you know, any household information that I need to be abreasted of. Not everything and anything. Motherfuckers ain't loose with their lips, you know, because they're not trying to have their ship sunk. You know what I mean? This ain't the Titanic. Holmes, you ain't hitting icebergs here. Everything is smooth and rolling. But I'm training. I'm training to properly know how to secure myself. I'm training to properly know how to... Ooh, wait, right? Wasn't cool. All these things are necessary steps that were going to help me in my career in prison. Now you say to yourself right now, there's about those right now watching. I swear, you know you're watching, you're going, a career in prison. Yes, that's what we call it, a career in prison. Okay, it's just like any other career. Of course, you can get out, you can work for Microsoft. That's your career. So I got a career, Holmes. I work for Microsoft. What do? I'm a janitor, but it's my career. What do you do? Hey, I work at McDonald's. Yeah, I'm on the fryer. Sasuke, can no one fucking twirl a motherfucker like that? Fry something like I can't. Sasuke, I'm good on the hash browns, right? That's his career. What's your career? Tracy Prison. You know, I was in that motherfucker wiggling. That was our career. Like it or not, that's how it was said. That's what was being told to us, and that's how it's being told to you. Period. So I went in and I learned a lot of things. Okay, it was like a level up. It was now time to become a man. It was now we were playing for keeps. Well, don't get it twisted. And why there was motherfuckers getting booked. I myself participated in a couple things. I myself got participated on in a couple things. That's a fact, right? It was real life there, but it became a little bit more aggressive and realer here because this is all that was talked about. There wasn't no, hey, we're going to fist fight. We're going to do this. It was all, we're going to get off where we're mad at, Humps. If anything goes down, Sasuke, secure yourself, have you a tang, a banger, a pedazo, and handle it, okay? Depending on where you went. If you went to a level 4, level 3 yard, the wiggle was going to be real. If you went to a 2 or 1 yard, well, I can't call it like an alcoholic. You know, I've never been to a 1 or 2 yard, but I could say that I'm sure prison is prison. People were still getting off there, you know, so I'm not going to hate or delegate on anything that was going on. I'm just saying I don't have no firsthand knowledge because I wasn't there. I got plenty of homeboys that were. They was like, man, it was cool on the 2 yard. So I get all the homeboys were in that motherfucker eating spreads and all that. And where were you at? Yeah, I was, man, it was sucked where I was at, bro. What did you do? I had a hoop fucking a big old fucking pizza bed every day. Sasuke. I don't even want to talk about it. You know what I mean? I was on some Uncle Tio Pedro Tupac shit. It wasn't cool. But anyway, this is how it was. These were the training grounds to properly secure you. And I'm sure, just like me, a younger guy, man, getting gamed up by an older individual, letting me know exactly to get down. Because I put myself in that gang aspect. I put myself there. I was fully dedicated and willing to do anything. I was willing to go all out. So I had to be properly gamed up. Okay? Am I going to sit here and tell you guys, oh, I know every fucking big word in the dictionary. Oh, I was the most. I ran this and I ran that and I did this and I did not. Try it because I didn't. Okay, that would be frivolous fucking content, frivolous lies. No, I didn't do all that. At one point in time, I was in position to, yes, make a few necessary moves. Yes, I was in position to call a few little shots, you know. Yes, I was in position to, you know what I mean, dictate a little bit, educate a few people. Yes, that happened. That's true life stories. But at the same time, never, never was I the mero on the yard running the whole show. Nah, it never went that route for me, right? And it wasn't because I was no punk or no sissy or no sucker. It just wasn't in the cards. Orale, 2 jacks. You know what I mean? Orale, 2 jokers. Orale, I lose. You know what I mean? I fold. This is how it went down. Anyways, these were the proper training grounds. And I learned a lot of things there. Sasuke, I learned how to make a stinger, right? To warm my coffee up. Even though I didn't drink coffee, but my celly did. I learned how to, like I say, make weaponry for the household. I learned how to keep my fucking mouth shut, man, when things were going on. I learned how to fish. You know, to properly get wheelhouse passed from place to place. So that way we were all up to par. I mean, there was a lot of things I learned. There's a lot of things that I learned that I can't tell you guys. Because, Sasuke, you have to go there to find out yourself. It's not my business to tell you. Sasuke, at the end of the day, I know this is a prison-based genre channel, man. I'm trying to take it in different directions. I'm going all the way over here with it. But at the end of the day, when the day ends, it's not my responsibility or righteous of me to tell you everything that they got going on. Any group segment. To each, that's their own business. Anyways, training grounds. They're real, man. When you get in there and you're really living that life and you're really about that life and you're really wiggling, you will find out what I'm talking about. This is where you properly train to go to guerra, to go to war. Because when you get to those 4 and those 3 yards, Sasuke, you better fucking be ready. Because if you're not, guess what's going to happen? Guess what's going to happen? Well, you'll just have to find out in the next episode. Bang, bang. Until then, man, I hope that you move fast with a purpose. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. I tell you these stories for this simple. You know, something to entertain you, something to get your mind spinning, and also something to let you know you don't have to go that route if you don't need to. You know what I mean? People that go that route because they wanted to go that route. You don't have to go that route. Now, Sasuke, you can get busted, but you can get a DUI. Sasuke, you take a swing at the cop, you're too drunk. Next thing you know, it's an assault on a police officer. You find yourself on a 4-yard. Sas. With Tyrone. I can't call it. But at the end of the day, man, most people know better, so they do better. You know, like and subscribe. If you don't like this, you can hit the thumbs down. It's all good in the hood, man. May your push be forever forward. You already know what it is. The gun. Bang, bang. Secure yourself.